Hey, it's Danny from ProjectManaverse.com, and in this video I'm going to explain what project closure is. Now, by definition, a project has a start and an end. It's a temporary endeavor. It doesn't go on and on forever. There must be an end date. There must be a finish, and that finish, the formal finish, is what we call the project closure. Now, project closure can't happen until you have delivered the thing that your project has set out to deliver from the start. So obviously this channel is all about IT projects. So in our context, you can't close your project until you've delivered the software that you're going to deliver or whatever technical thing you set out to do. Once that has been done and it's in the production environment, that's your key deliverable. That's not the point where you close your project, but that's a big prerequisite to closing down the project. You have to have delivered your product. Now, with most of these IT projects, once you've delivered your product and put it into the production environment where customers start using it, be it external customers or internal customers to your organization, you have a warranty period. So you know what a warranty period is, but for these software projects, it means you've got the project team is still available, or someone is still available to help with any new defects or issues or procedural queries that the business may have or the customers may have before you formally step away and close down the project. So project closure comes after you have deployed your product and after the warranty period. And it's more than that. You can't just walk away from it when those things are done. The project has to be formally closed down. It has to be done by some kind of governance forum, be that a steering group, be that a project working group, whatever your organization has set up to be the main vehicle of governance for your projects. That's the place you need to go to get your project formally closed down. So it's got to be documented, it's got to be recorded, and there's going to be a handful of people that can make that decision that yes, this project has now been done. And that could be the head of function in the business that's taken on the product that you've made, could be the portfolio manager of your department, it could be it will be the project sponsor or the exec. There'll be various key stakeholders that need to be part of that forum, that decision-making group that will ultimately say, yep, we agree this project can now be closed. So you've got to deliver your project, got to get through warranty, and you have to formally hand over the product to the end customer. It's got to be a formal handover where ownership is transferred from the project to the people that are going to be using that product in the day-to-day world. So obviously, if you're building an application that's used by external customers, you're not going to hand over the actual application to the customers and say, are you ready to take this on? But it's going to be the people that will run the application, the people that will look after it on a day-to-day basis, who will come in and make sure that everything is working right, the servers are okay, and there's no problems, the customer support is all there. So whatever the operating model is going to be, and that's a key thing that you have to have defined at the start of any, well, not at the start, but during the course of your project, you have to define the operating model. Once you deliver the product, how is it going to run in everyday business, in the everyday business world? You're going to have various teams that will need to be involved in the running of that application. As I say, you could have the operational team that check it's okay every day. You have an IT support team, and you might have some kind of customer support team as well if it's an external application to external customers. So all of that stuff has to be agreed, and it has to be formally handed over to those people. So from the project who've been doing everything, now it goes over to those people that are going to be running the application or whatever you've built in the day-to-day operations. What else is worth calling out? So you probably, before you close down the project, what usually happens is you have some kind of lessons learned session, and sometimes we call this a post-implementation review. I did a video on this a few days ago, so if you want to check that out, by all means do. But it's basically reflecting back on the project and thinking about what went well and what didn't go well. And it's quite an important activity because, especially if a project has gone badly, you want to capture why it went badly, so that can be applied to future projects and those same mistakes aren't made again. So it's quite important activity, and it usually comes part and parcel of the project closure criteria. Now, the last thing that might go into your project closure checklist is the benefits. So some projects will have benefits that have to be delivered before they can be closed down, and often those projects are, for those kind of projects, those benefits are set out right from the start of the project. Certain targets have to be met. So for example, we want to reduce operating costs by X%, we want to increase profit by this much. So if those benefits need to be tracked, and sometimes it can take months to track them, but once they have been delivered, and we can say that they're not going to be delivered, either way, we've tracked them enough, that's when you can close down your project as well. I think that's pretty much it in terms of what a project closure is. So it's basically just formalizing the shutdown of the project, tying off all the loose ends, making sure that any outstanding issues or defects have workarounds or some kind of procedural notes that people know how to follow, and all the people that are receiving the product that you have made that are going to be using it in the future, they're all signed up to it, and they formally agreed to take it on, and that's all documented and agreed to through your company governance and company steering groups, whatever you have set up for your particular situation. Okay, so why do we do this? I'll quickly end on that. So why is it important for you to close down a project properly? Well, I'm going to give you 3 key reasons as to why it's important. Number 1, you want to be able to walk away from that project, and you want to walk away from it guilt-free as well, because sometimes when you finish a project, you're trying to move on with new projects, but you'll still have people, stakeholders from that old project, asking you questions, asking you queries, and unless you formally close down the project, it's hard to escape it. It's hard to escape those constant questions. But if you formally close down your project, you can say, look, the project has now been formally closed down. All the procedural notes are on this SharePoint or wherever you put them, or you can say, right now this project has been handed over to the operations team. So any questions you have need to go to these people. I've now stepped away from it. So it allows you to do that without getting dragged back in, and you can do it in a guilt-free way as well. So that's the first thing. Second thing, it gives you a clean record of delivery as a project manager. And that's what you want, because obviously you want to progress in your career as a project manager. You want to get better, take on the bigger projects, get paid more money. And to do that, you need to demonstrate that you've got a track record of delivery. And you can't really put a project on your track record unless it's been formally closed. So make sure you close down your projects. You've got all the documentation to say it's been done, and then you can put that on your track record and talk about it to future employers or your current employers if you want to progress in the current company. The last point, or the last reason why it's important, is because it's the right thing to do for the business and the customers, because you don't want to close down the project and walk away until everyone is happy that everything is in order, because it's often the case, I've seen it many times, where a project will deliver, they put the thing live and they go, yeah, we did it, woo, and we all celebrate, and then we just fade away into the sunset, but we leave a pile of mess that doesn't work properly. You don't want that. You want your customers to be happy. You want the business to be happy. So you want everyone to have a chance to say, yeah, I'm now comfortable that I can accept this, and now how everything works, and we're ready to sign off the project. So it does protect the customer. It's good for them as well. So it's win-win for everyone. You can walk away, and they are happy that you can walk away as well. Okay, that's the video. I'm going to leave it there. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, give it a thumbs up. And until tomorrow, please take care.